Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you're joining us, and welcome to episode 3 of Life and Games, a podcast about life, games, and everything in between. I'm your host, Cameron Ford, and joining me as always, my partner in crime, who you should subscribe to with your Twitch Prime, Mr. Carl Southern. How you doing today, Carl?
Good. Thanks for the plug, twitch.tv/sodapizzle.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. You had any invasions lately?
Raids?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't had a raid. I had one raid from, what's his name? Laser Lemon.
Laser Lemon.
Yeah. Shout out Laser Lemon.
Sounds like a Digimon.
Right? It does. Maybe that's where he got it. But he's a Pokemon streamer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be doing things a little different again this week.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, we're still trying to find our footing at that, and it's been like a pretty slow news week.
Yeah.
I mean, fun fact about gaming news, in 2 weeks is E3.
Oh,
so
yeah.
everybody's kind of holding their cards close to the
Hush.
chest, but we've got a couple interesting stories to go over today.
Mm-hmm.
The first one being that there is apparently more levity to the rumor of a Switch Pro, which I am personally pretty excited about, if you can't tell. We're also going to finally take the deep dive on NFTs, which we've dabbled with the past couple episodes. We've mentioned them, but most people probably have no idea what that is.
Yeah. Probably Googling NFT right now.
Yeah, NFT. And then we're going to do a double dip on our deep dive section.
Double dip on the deep dive. Say that 3 times fast.
For why Hollywood can't seem to get video game movies right. Every time it's just like, come on.
Just hire Mia Jovovich.
And then a coworker of mine asked me earlier this week what my favorite video game of all time was, and I could not give him a straight answer. So we're going to discuss that and try to kind of figure out what our favorites are and give you a general idea of what we like.
Right.
So, but before we get to that, what you been playing this week, Carl?
So this week I had a rather interesting experience. New game came out this week. You may have heard of it. You may have seen me play it on Twitch. Biomutant. Okay. Nice AAA game coming from THQ Nordic, which if you're clued in, that probably should have been enough for you to realize what I'm about to say. But it's a game, so they pitch it as a weird, like amalgamation of titles or genres. It's a kung fu fighting, action RPG, with like lots of world building.
Cool.
Lots of missions, and what a kung fu action RPG with like a lot of skill trees and things like that.
Is it like action based? Like, what is it? First person, third person?
It's third person.
Okay.
And I was super hype on it. So somebody said that imagine Cyberpunk but with furries.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Well, I mean, Cyberpunk had a lot of issues, right?
Yeah.
Came out half-baked. This is kind of the same. It carries that same torch. I was super hype on this game. If you watched my Twitch stream, the first reveal, like the first impressions, in the character selection screen, I mean, the intro movie was beautiful. That's one thing this game does well. It is a beautiful game. The character models, the landscapes, everything is just that good primo. I would love to watch a movie about this, or like used everything to make a movie. And I was super hyped during the character creation, just looking at everything and setting my skills, choosing my race. It was so good looking.
Cool.
I got in, and man, it was such a roller coaster because I went from 100 to 0 real quick.
Was it that bad?
It.
What did you play it on?
I played it on PC.
Okay.
I mean, everything was max settings. Not that that matters, but just show you, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it just felt like a half-baked game. Like it wasn't finished. And I paid $60 for it, $59.99. And I just had a couple gripes with it, and I can get into it if you want. But just the biggest thing is that was what I was playing this week. And if you're thinking about picking up Biomutant, maybe wait until either it's on sale,
yeah,
or some patches come out and they fix things. Just a kind of a long story short, they need to fix animations. They need to, I don't know if they can fix this with a patch.
What's wrong with the animation?
So the animations, I feel like some are missing, and I feel like they're not smooth. Like, for example, there's a couple of spots in the early tutorial level where you have to climb a rope to get to a second level, and the character walks up to the rope, and rather than having like a fluid, he climbs up on the rope, it's like he's on the rope. And he's kind of like, it's so out of place. Like, okay, if the graphical fidelity wasn't as good as it was,
right,
I wouldn't have a problem with it. But it looks so good, and everything, and like a lot of the other things is so smooth.
Yeah.
That when he just like teleports on the rope and he's already like climbing, it really takes, it's out
jarring.
of place. Yeah, it's jarring. A lot of the times when you hit an enemy, they just don't react.
Oh no!
Like, it's just like you see like the little animation, like the splash animation.
Yeah.
But the enemy doesn't move. They don't feel phased by it. So your hits don't feel impactful.
But doesn't it have like those weird? If I'm not, I don't know. I've never played it, but from the footage I saw, don't they have like weird like pop bang?
So they do have. So that's one cool thing. They have like this comic book inspired like what do you call it? Overlays,
action bubbles.
Yeah. So when you perform certain moves, it'll have like the name of the move pop up in like this comic style font, which is really cool. Yeah. But as far as like the actual interacting, and it's a combat, right? A lot of the game is focused on like hand-to-hand combat kung fu, and it just doesn't feel satisfying. Like,
it sucks.
I felt like I would rather just be using the guns that I had, and it felt like the combat. Like, there was one boss where literally all I did was hold down the left thumbstick, and hold down the right trigger. And I would just circle around him, firing my gun, and I didn't have to do anything. He would have his attacks, but they would always miss because I was circling around him.
So it's got like a Zelda-style lock-on system? Like
No lock-on. That's one thing. That's another gripe. There's no lock-on system, and when you're fighting in multiple like enemies, you can't lock onto an enemy. So you're firing guns. You're missing a lot of times. If you're trying to execute a combo, it's like a Street Fighter Tekken style like AABB.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool, but it doesn't work.
For the kung fu stuff, but not for the weapons, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's neat.
It's neat, but the execution is bad. They don't have lock on, and and as a result, the camera angles can get like if you're in a fight, sometimes the camera angle goes into the ground or like behind like a bunch of like animation or area of effect like fire, and you just can't see what's going on.
I didn't realize it was THQ Nordic.
Yeah,
everything you're saying makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure they're the one publisher in like the AA space, like not quite AAA, but like there's like a little asterisk every time you want to buy one of their games.
It's like wait till it's on sale. That's the asterisk. Don't pay $60 because you're paying AAA prices for a AA game.
Well, if you'd have taken our advice last week, like Mr. Carl didn't, and checked out Metacritic.
Oh, that's the thing, though. The game is getting like 4.5 out of 5, 9.
Whoa!
On Steam.
Yeah, IGN gave it a 6.
Well, IGN was the only one that was actually
kind of surprising.
Yeah. But no, I considered doing a screenshot of my face at the beginning of the game and how I was at the end of the game, because I know at the end I was just sitting there like this in my chair. Because the biggest gripe I have with Biomutant is that I was 2 hours into the game and I felt like I had barely played the game at all because there's so many cutscenes.
Oh.
So very many. There was a couple of times where you would have a minute's long cutscene. The cutscene would end. I would walk forward a couple of steps, press a button, and then another cutscene.
That sucks.
It was the worst.
As a fan of this, Square Enix games, they're pretty notorious for having a lot of cutscenes. I typically like that sort of thing.
But their cutscenes?
Are they janky?
No, Square Enix?
Yeah.
Good quality, right?
Oh, yeah. No, they're basically movie level or better.
The thing that kills this is all of the characters in this game talk like Sims, and then you have a narrator translating for you.
Oh my
and it's
God.
Not only is it cutscene city, so all the characters talk like, and then the narrator comes over. He's telling you that he'd like to do this.
It plays the audio clip and then the narration,
and then the narrator comes in and
translates.
Sometimes it's like at the end a little bit, like it overlays.
Bro, that's like twice as long.
It's so bad. Yeah, it drags out the game. It disconnects you from the characters. Because the characters look awesome, but you don't feel like you're connected with them because you don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
And you have to wait for the narrator to come in and translate for you.
That's brutal.
Yeah, and don't even, you shouldn't have got me started.
Oh,
I got a refund.
I mean, I wanted to know. I mean,
Yeah.
we intentionally didn't talk about it this week because I wanted to know how you felt it. Earlier this week, we met for our production meeting, and all you said is, don't buy it. So I was like, oh, man, I can't wait to hear about this.
Yeah, it was awful.
It does sound really cool, you know? Like, you get to be a little squirrel or a little rat or a little whatever with weapons.
My big hype was like, I get to be Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Because you're like a bioengineered raccoon-looking thing.
Yeah.
And it looks so great, but...
I've heard the character creator's pretty good, though.
Yeah, it is.
Because, like, I've seen some screenshots of people, like, making Sonic the Hedgehog and things like that.
Yeah.
Just going nuts.
That's probably the most fun they'll have in that game.
All right.
On that note.
Yeah. So, I haven't really been playing a whole lot this week.
Mm-hmm.
I've almost done with Miles Morales.
Okay.
I'm close to the platinum, which, again, game is fantastic. It's nice and short and sweet. It has that feature where it's one of those RPGs where you just want to do all of the side quests because they're simple to the point. You get that the ping from, you know, getting more stats, getting stronger, all that stuff, and it's really nice. And the side quests aren't like super in depth, but they're in and out.
Yeah.
So I'm cleaning up those. But one thing, I didn't play it, but there was a Sony State of Play earlier this week. Mm-hmm. Did you happen to catch any of that?
No, I didn't.
So they showed off Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Oh, I heard
and there's
that.
there's a 40-minute gameplay demo of that game.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I played the first one, I liked it. I never finished it because it came out right at the same time as Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. And
you're right.
Yeah, one wins. I did play it though, and I had a few gripes with it, but this game looks like a game made after Breath of the Wild came out.
The second one?
Yeah. All of the things that we had gripes about in the first one, it seems like they fixed.
Nice.
They've added... Aloy has access to, like, this grappling hook.
Oh, yes.
So she's just, like, zipping around like it's Just Cause.
Yes.
And she also has, like, a parasail so you can jump off of things and, like, float.
Yeah. Can I interrupt you for just a second?
Yeah.
Thank you, Breath of the Wild,
Right?
for introducing that, because now Biomutant has the same mechanic.
Oh, nice.
Genshin Impact has that mechanic. It's a great mechanic, and I'm not even mad for all these game developers ripping on it because it's such a good mechanic.
So in the gameplay demo, it was in 4K on PS5, no load times. It was gorgeous because the thing they're doing with this game is they're setting it basically on the West Coast, like in the California-ish area. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of beaches. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like red flourishings on the white sand. And it just looks like the contrast there is really cool. It's very beautiful. Mm-hmm. But the thing that got it for me was you've played the first one.
I haven't beaten it, but yeah, I've played it.
The enemies and the robots in that game. There's maybe like 20 different robots, and they're all like based on real animals. You know, you got the T-Rex and you got the horse and all that stuff. They're adding a bunch more.
Nice.
Like the gameplay demo starts with this enemy encampment who are also able to override the mechs.
Yes.
And they've got like basically saber-toothed tigers that they're riding.
Wow.
And they also have a giant war elephant.
Oh my god.
They're stationed. They got like this like wooden basket on top of the elephant with like Gatling guns all over it and like 4 dudes stationed on it. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Because it looks like everything that we had problems with the first one, they're gonna fix. The movement seems fluid.
Yeah.
She can swim underwater, which I don't remember if she could do before, but she's got like a face visor. So when you go underwater, it's like a whole new world. They've got, you know, robot fish and alligators.
Nice. That's going to be so awesome. See, that's why I want a PS5. Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I still have, I know I say this every time, but I still haven't been able to play Persona 5.
Yeah. One day. Hey, it's actually the not the remastered edition, but the regular one. If you get a PS5, they've got this like PlayStation Plus collection that you just get for free. Persona 5 is one of the games.
If I get a PS5.
Yeah. If you can score one.
It's going to be later. Maybe that's a topic we'll bring in. But I heard that it's going to be till 2022 that supply is going to be like normal again.
Yeah. And with that, I think we'll get into the nerdy news to know with our first news story.
So let's talk about it.
So apparently there is going to be a Switch Pro, which, surprise, surprise, you know, console revisions are not a new thing from Nintendo.
But we've been hearing these leaks and rumors of a Switch Pro since basically the Switch was released.
Right.
Like,
we thought the Lite was going to be a Pro.
Right.
But there's some levity because, is it Amazon Mexico?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about what happened?
There was a listing on Amazon from Mexico of a Switch Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It was quickly taken down, and all it had was the listing, no images or anything.
Did they call it a Pro? Do you remember?
They called it Switch Pro.
I hope they don't. go
And
with
the
that
seller
name.
was listed as Amazon or as Nintendo.
And usually, if it's like up and then down, it's usually like, oh no, what have we done?
Yeah.
It's usually, I think it's Amazon Sweden that usually leaks all that stuff. But
so,
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Switch Pro. I mean, we've been wanting one for a while. I've been wanting one for a while, just because there's so many things about the Switch that are great, but there's so many things that are just so far behind the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not even talk about comparing it to PC.
Yeah, that's not fair comparison.
It's not, but I'm just saying the quality of experience that you can get as a gamer.
Yeah.
On everything else, and then and I know Switch. The whole thing was like it's portable.
Yeah.
It's console quality games in your palm, but now it's not console quality games in your hands. It's mobile games.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at it from it needs to be on par with the other home consoles, it's super not that.
No. I will never look for a Nintendo console to be on par, but just in the same league at least somewhere. But now they're not. It's not in the same league. It's a generation behind.
I will say, the Switch does lack a few features that
quite a lot, actually.
I would like to see. And I think there's some that you want to see too.
Mm-hmm.
What's your number one, you think?
So first, I think let's go into the rumor.
Mm-hmm. What does it say that it has?
So the rumors, let me get this pulled up here, of what the Switch
Pro
is going to have. So number one is a larger screen.
Larger
screen, 7-inch screen.
Okay.
Which they're also saying that it may be an OLED screen. Which
That'd
you know
tight.
anything about screen technology? There's LCD, which is liquid crystal display.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine, but you typically don't get very bright.
Right.
You typically don't get very good contrast, and the colors aren't as natural.
LCD is typically like if you go to Walmart and there's like a $500 4K TV, that's probably what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
If you're spending like $2,000,
right, or a cheap smartphone, like you have an iPhone 7, or iPhone 10R, or like a Samsung Galaxy S. I think 5 or 6 is when they stopped doing LCD. Like it's gonna be your cheaper display. It's gonna be it just works. It's fine.
Yeah.
But they're thinking about switching to OLED, which stands for organic LED, which you're gonna get deeper black levels on this. So the blacks are gonna be less of like a gray, actually black. It's gonna be brighter, and the colors are gonna be more punchy. So it's gonna look more vibrant rather than just kind of washed out.
That's good.
So they're seeing that.
I wonder if it's gonna have HDR if they're going that route.
I don't think it'll have HDR.
That'd be cool though.
It'll probably have a better dynamic range, but like HDR, like what Apple and Samsung are saying, that term.
Black is black.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll have HDR.
I don't know. Having used HDR stuff for the past couple of years, most of the time, I mean, when we watched the last season of Game of Thrones, you remember that final battle?
Yeah. Well, see, I don't think Game of Thrones was produced in HDR. So you have to have not only an HDR capable screen, but the content has to actually be produced in HDR.
Okay.
So I don't think that there's going to be very many video games being produced in HDR. I don't even know what that would look like. But really especially not Nintendo developers, right?
Yeah. What else does it say that it's supposed to have?
So being able to output 4K at 60 frames per second.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. That would be great. 4K is probably the most believable because 4K is like the hotness when it comes to like gaming.
Right.
Like gamers need 4K. So I think that's going to be the most likely other than the screen.
So, okay. Right now, the Switch, the tablet mode is 720p.
Yeah.
And the output when you plug it into the TV is 1080.
Right.
Does that mean they're going to upgrade the actual tablet part to 1080?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that as a rumor, but I would hope so for sure.
That would be really nice. I mean, with smaller screens, you don't necessarily need all that crazy resolution. But it would be nice to just have a crispier image.
We have 1080p on our phones that are 7 inches.
Most phones now are just 4K.
I don't think most phones are 4K.
Oh, well, they take photos and all of that other stuff.
They can take photos in 4K.
Yeah. So, it looks really, really, really good.
Yeah.
With the smaller display.
Yeah. Exactly. At least retina levels where you can't pixel peep.
One thing, I don't know if they've confirmed it, but I find myself wanting this all the time is Bluetooth support.
Yeah.
On the Switch.
So, yeah. So let's run through what's rumored changes and we'll get to what we want to talk about. So other than that, just Ethernet port on the dock.
That's rumored?
That's rumored.
Huh.
Gotta
go,
have
Smash
it.
fans.
Yeah, Smash fans, or really anybody that just wants to take a load off their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Fixed Joy-Con drift, and an extra USB 3.0 jack on.
Oh, an extra one. Yeah, that's the big problem, because whenever I use the GameCube controller plug-in, it takes up 2 USB slots. So it's like I kind of have to choose what to do, and it's really brutal.
Right. It'd be helpful to have an extra one.
Yeah.
So what do we want? You mentioned Bluetooth, right?
Bluetooth.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. And just being, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't really, aside from these, I don't really have any other wired headphones.
Right.
Everything's, like yours, wireless earbuds.
Right.
It'd be nice, especially on the go. You don't want to have that wire hanging there.
Right.
Just pop your earbuds in and
Get
go.
your AirPods, your Galaxy Buds, your Pixel Buds.
Raycon.
Your Raycon. Raycon earbuds. They're cheap. They're affordable. Raycon.
Yeah.
I will never buy Raycons
ever
in my life. The amount of times I've heard a Raycon advertisement just shoved into a YouTube video, I will never, ever in my life. If my AirPods are burnt in a fire and I go to Walmart and the only thing they have available is Raycons, I will walk out.
Yeah.
I will walk out of that
Just
store.
hold the phone to your face.
I will
It's
do
better.
it old school. I will plug in. Unless you want to sponsor a video, then I'll buy some Raycons.
We'll shell a little bit, but just know.
Just no, I will never. If I ever do a sponsored spot for Raycon,
Don't believe us.
don't believe me. Buy them.
That's
Use my affiliate link. But I will never put them in my ears.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about all of this is like considering taking sponsors. All of the sponsors that have hit us up are like, "Hey, do you want to sell like funeral ad services and stuff like that
for $5?"
Yeah, it's like, dude, this I can't speak for your product because I'm not dead. I can't really be like,
well,
oh,
I mean,
yeah. But it's just if we were to ever do any ad spots, I'd want to believe in it.
Yeah.
And Raycon and I mean, maybe like NordVPN seems like the only useful one of those popular ones. Or Raid Shadow Legend.
No, I will never.
I
will never. That's another thing. I will never play Raid Shadow Legends.
Like they have actively made me not want to try that game just because of how over the top they are with their advertising.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the Switch Pro. What else you got that's confirmed?
That was all that's confirmed. Some things that I would like. Let's go through that. What do we want to see on the Nintendo Switch Pro? At the top of my list, well, it was Bluetooth.
I mean, that's the biggest one. Better screen, Bluetooth.
Right. So second on my list is I want the D-pad to be like the Switch Lite. I want an actual D-pad on the Nintendo Switch.
So we're assuming that the Joy-Cons are going to stay the same, right?
Like they can stay the same, but just change the D-pad. You don't have to change the rail system to attach it.
So they have those Hori ones, like the third-party D-pad. I don't know if you've looked into those, but the problem with those is there's no HD rumble, and they don't work in wireless mode. If it's not attached, it will not function. So it'd be cool if we got like some, Pro Joy-Cons with an actual D-pad on it. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That you could even make cross-compatible with the old Switch.
Right. All you'd have to do is have the rail system the same. And
Software
give us a
update.
D-pad.
Because that'd be cool.
The whole reason they did the whole it's not a D-pad thing is they thought people were going to be like
Karen on the rooftop.
Gaming on a rooftop party. That millennial rooftop party that everybody has all the time.
To be fair, when it first came out, I've played it like that.
For 3 times?
I mean, anytime I go see my family, we'll play Mario Kart or Mario Party.
Yeah.
It's like really good for that because
it's just a sacrifice I'd be willing to make.
Yeah, I'd like to have a pair. I mean, that's why when I play my Switch, if I'm docked, Pro Controller all day. I don't mess with the Joy-Cons. The only time the Joy-Cons are useful is when I'm on the go, and I have a Switch Lite for on the go.
Okay,
and it's got a real D-pad on it.
Let's talk about that. You have a Switch and a Switch Lite.
I do.
How is that when you're talking about trying to play games like cross-save?
Yeah.
Like if you pick up a game on your Switch and you want to go on vacation and you want to bring your Switch Lite.
So it's not quite as pick up and play as I would like. Typically what I do is whenever I'm buying a game, I'll decide where to play it. Because so like indie titles and like smaller games, they're better on the Lite. I don't really need it to be blown up on the TV. If it's like a full third or first party AAA game, you know, or just something that's supposed to look really pretty, I'll play it on the regular Switch.
So
but if you were to want to do that, I mean, it takes a couple steps because you have to go download the game on both systems, start it on one, and then because of the Switch's like PlayStation Plus program, the $20 a year Nintendo Online, your saves get uploaded to the cloud. So all you would have to do is get in the settings on your Switch Lite and just import your save.
Yeah,
but
that's all you have to do.
The biggest problem is they do the this weird like primary secondary switch thing where the secondary switch, if you're playing a game that you've downloaded, like not a game card but like a digital,
like a digital
copy,
title,
you have to authenticate online to play it, which is problematic. That's why typically like the Lite is the primary because that's the one I'm going to be on the go. I don't want to have to authenticate it. Whereas the other one's always going to be at home, always going to be connected.
Right.
So that's the fix, but it's still less than. I mean, we know how Nintendo is.
Yeah.
They don't really. They're the Nintendo bubble, as people say. I mean,
they're like the Apple of the gaming world.
Yeah, they kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, and that's one of the next things I really want. I know it's software and it isn't really tied to the Switch Pro, but let us play like for those who have multiple Switches, there needs to be a more convenient way of either having like cloud saves or having multiple devices authenticated at the same time, multiple primary devices to where, I mean, you can, like, for example, I do a lot of mobile gaming.
Right.
And I do want to talk about this in another episode, but I have an iPad.
Yeah.
I have an iPhone and I have a Mac. If I'm down playing like Final Fantasy VII on my iPad, I save it, I go out, I pick up my iPhone, open up, and I'm right back where I was.
Right.
Or a Chrono Trigger, any other game that I'm playing, it's just immediately.
So,
and I don't have to go through all this mess of like.
Honestly, it's kind of surprising that system is even there for Nintendo. Because I think, you know, the folks with multiple Switch systems are kind of the outlier. Most people either have one or the other. One cool thing they do is with their online program, they do offer a family plan. So instead of everybody having to pay $20 a year, I think it's like $45 you get up to 4 Switches all year.
Now, do you get like the same access to the same save states?
If you use the same profile, yeah. The only problem with that is, so you kind of have to be a little cheeky where you authenticate, get offline, and then the next person,
That's such a hassle.
Well, you just can't play the same game at the same time.
Right.
But you can
That'll
all
be
have.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean, like on that one, me and my partner both have our profiles on it, and they're separate. But I can play her games and she can play mine, so long as we can connect to the internet.
Right.
So it's pretty cool like that.
And that would be fine. Yeah. But having this whole primary, secondary, and going through this big rigmarole just to be able to pick up and play your games. And what I would like, I guess to sum it all up, what I would like is for you not have to worry about when you're buying a game, what device you're playing it on.
Yeah, that would be nice if I could just pick it up and go.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Nintendo, make it happen, please.
Please, Captain Nintendo, Sir Nintendo. Yeah. Make it so.
So, anything else that you want to see on the new Nintendo Switch, or the Switch Pro, or the Super Nintendo Switch, or this Nintendo Switch 2?
One, I want a different name.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo Switch Pro is horrible. And
what do you think about new Nintendo Switch?
I would be okay with that just because it's an established brand.
Or Super Nintendo Switch.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, Nintendo Switch Plus would be kind of cool too. I don't know, just Pro. The idea that like a console is a professional version. Yeah. It's kind of cringe.
A Switch Ultra Pro Max Plus.
Huh?
Switch Ultra Pro Max Plus Pro.
With Cranky Kong. And Knuckles.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I think my favorite would be new Nintendo Switch.
That works.
Followed by Super Nintendo Switch.
You don't want the new Nintendo Switch XL?
No. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't like new or Super Nintendo Switch. Because when you went from the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo, there was like different games and they weren't compatible.
Yeah.
So
like I've had that problem.
Yeah. So I think the new Nintendo Switch would be the best.
Yeah. It will. Something. And that's what I'm seeing. Like when they did it on the 3DS with the new stuff, all of the boxes had that new logo with like the 3-colored. You know, it was very clear that
the little Starburst kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like confetti pops.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing they put on the Amiibo packaging. It made sense.
Yeah.
That would be cool. New Nintendo Switch. Again, Nintendo is always terrible. I mean, that's what happened with the Wii U. You know, they had the Wii. They took over the world with the Wii. And they came out with the Wii U and it muddied everything because people thought that the Wii U was just the controller.
Yeah.
So they're like, I mean, I don't know if anybody who's not big into gaming news, the Nintendo Wii U was a total failure.
Yeah. They needed the Nintendo Switch to be a hit, or people were just going to stop caring about Nintendo.
They were probably going to become a third-party publisher, was the rumor. And here's a fun fact for you. Since we're approaching Nintendo possibly putting out a new console, we are, from the time the Wii U came out to the time the Switch came out, we are in that exact time frame. So right now, if the Wii U had come out in 2017, the Switch would have come out now.
Yeah.
So it's about that time.
Yeah, it's time. It's time for an upgrade. We're on 4-year-old hardware at this point.
My biggest concern is, like we were talking about earlier with the PS5s, how are you going to get this thing? I had trouble buying a single amiibo.
Yeah, you're not going to get this thing. It comes out, if it comes out in September 2021, you're not getting this thing until summer of 2022 at least.
The other interesting thing about the rumor is, again, E3 is in 2 weeks. The rumor said that they're already in production.
Yeah,
and
that's why all the rumors are coming out right now.
Yeah, because, you know, there's a leak in the boat, which Nintendo happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you... Supply chain, right? You can't shut up every employee. You can't, you know, if you're Nintendo or Apple, that's why you never see software leaks.
Yeah, because it's all just the devs.
It's all in-house.
Yeah.
But you always see hardware leaks because, you know, Nintendo can't threaten your life. I'm convinced
those
that...
remember the Wii car commercial where the two guys knock on the door? We would like to kill you.
Yeah. Man. And you know what? I was thinking about that the other day. I wish they would bring that back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But, you know, obviously they can't say we.
Yeah.
But something, just the two guys, like an homage, because those
are cool. I like that little, what was it, a little smart car?
Yeah, a little smart car, and they presented the controller.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Two Japanese businessmen, but yeah. So rounding out a couple of things I'd like to see on the new Nintendo Switch. A little bit thinner of a form factor. Not too much, just a little bit thin. It's a little round. Yeah.
The only thing I'm concerned about that is I'd like it to be compatible with our current docks. Because those things were expensive.
It's going to come with a dock.
Well, yeah, but I already have like 2 of them.
I don't think that's as big of an issue, but I can see where it's coming from. Just a little bit more ergonomic. It feels, or maybe even a little bit thinner on the middle, but a little bit thicker on the Joy-Cons. It just, I don't know, something better to hold.
Okay, so you mentioned that the screen size is bigger. Is the screen bigger or the whole thing? Because like on the Switch now, there's that big bevel.
Yeah, it's got thick bezels.
Yeah,
like inch thick bezels almost. Probably, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's got some thickums.
You turn that screen on, it's like, oh, we're not using this.
Thanos snapped those bezels.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. That's all we need.
I mean, the size is fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, more screen real estate.
Yeah, just like they did with all the phones. Yep. They all had the foreheads and the chins, and they're just like,
rounding them on the corners and doing all this other crazy.
Yeah, well, maybe not all that. We don't need the infinity display on the.
Was it Apple Switch that had the hole punch?
No, camera? Apple never had the hole punch. They had the notch. It's Samsung and all the other ones that had the hole punch. Idiots. Yeah, we'll get into that another day.
Yeah,
complain about Apple stuff. I'll go on an Apple rant one of these days.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't yet.
So yeah, then for wireless charging, and it's a bit of an odd one because I know the dock is a thing.
Yeah,
but if you're on the go, you might not be bringing your dock with you.
Yeah,
and just I don't expect that to happen.
No,
but it's just one of those things where it'd be kind of a nice to have, just because I'm so used to everything having wireless charging.
Yeah,
and if I'm on the go and I'm bringing my Switch, just to be able to chuck it on a charger and be fine with it.
Yeah,
louder speakers.
Yeah, that'd be good. Because they're kind of weak.
They're
especially on the Lite. I don't know if you've played the Lite.
I have. Yeah, I own the Lite. I sold it to your buddy.
Oh,
Tim.
That's right. Shout out to you, Timmy.
Shout out Tim. I hope you're enjoying that Switch Lite, by the way. No refunds if you're not so.
But yeah,
4 months.
So one thing I've heard, rumor wise, is that the plan going forward is to phase out the regular Switch and just go with the Pro and the Lite.
Okay.
And to price drop the Lite to like $150.
Oh, that would be tight.
I mean, just to get it in more hands.
Close to 2DS levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder, when the Switch came out, it was $299. Mm-hmm. Is this going to be a $399, $499 console?
It's going to be $349, $399. Ooh. I would probably $349. Wouldn't be surprised at $399.
Yeah. I would like $349. I mean, because it is an upgrade. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see. I just hope they do the work on some of the pre-existing Switch titles with the 4K support. Like, could you imagine?
Well, that's developers. I mean, are you talking about first party?
Yeah. Could you imagine Breath of the Wild without all that hitchy frame rate stuff?
Yeah.
Just running like butter. No more like explosions and slowdown. And That was the one problem I had with that game, is just when it got some serious diarrhea Christmas lights going on.
They need a better processor in it.
Yeah.
They need to hit up Apple for that M1 chip. But yeah, I agree. I mean, better processor. I mean, the graphics are fine. I don't think the Switch needs excellent graphics, like ray tracing.
Most of the time for Nintendo, it's all about the art style.
Yeah, art style. Yeah, exactly. I think Breath of the Wild is probably the best looking game. They tried Witcher 3, and that game looks trash.
I don't know. Mario Odyssey is gorgeous, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just the style they went with for that game, everything is so round. You'll never see a jaggy ever.
I guess I was thinking like a little bit more realistic style. But yeah, you're right. Breath of the Wild is great. Or Mario Odyssey, which 2 games that came out, the same year that the Switch did?
Yeah, it was
4
from
years
March to November.
Yeah.
And Mario Kart 8. I was playing Mario Kart 8 the other day, and that is pretty.
But yeah, louder speakers, better chip, now that we're talking about it. Better kickstand. The kickstand is flimsy, and it feels like I'm going to break it every time I open it.
I mean, it comes right off, and mine falls off often.
Yeah.
My Switch is from launch. That thing has worn out.
Oh, so you don't even have the upgraded battery, huh?
No.
Oof.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why that one stays home.
Yeah.
That one's on the go.
I see.
Because the Switch Lite, without all the HD rumble and all that other stuff, you lose the features, but that battery life lasts forever.
Yeah. Barely ever charge it. And then finally, give us more integrated storage. What does it come with? 32 gigabytes?
I think so.
That's not enough. That's not enough at all for a gaming device.
Yeah.
I mean, your phone comes with a 64 minimum.
Yeah.
Give us 64 minimum.
Especially if they're going to be doing like 4K assets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to need the storage.
Yeah, we're going to need 64 gigabytes, the minimum. 128s would be like... So here's something. What if they do 349, 64 gigabytes, 399, 128 gigabytes?
That'd be dope. Now, is this onboard storage, or you think they'll just...
gigabytes.
It's Nintendo. They might just be like, and it comes with a memory card.
No,
don't worry,
because
it's
I want
got
the
Mario
expandable
on it.
storage. I mean, I want 64 gigabytes the minimum, and I want to be able to throw my SD card in there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. E3 is 2 weeks away. I'm very excited because last year there was no E3 because of everything going on.
Yep.
It'll be nice to be back in the saddle and see what these people have been working on for the past year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the whole year has been kind of crack-a-lacking, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. What's come out other than like some jank?
For like Nintendo or just
in general?
I mean, Returnal's pretty cool.
That's got a lot of problems too.
Yeah, but a lot of people are talking about it. I'm just trying to think of the big titles.
I mean, Resident Evil.
Cyberpunk.
Oof.
I mean, I enjoyed that game. I think it got a lot more.
I am waiting for the PS5 patch when they fix everything.
Oh, yeah.
And then I will play it.
Well, I'm on PC, so
yeah,
they fixed a lot of stuff. It's not perfect, but it's a fun game, and I'm having fun with it.
I was loving that game, and then I lost about 3 hours of progress.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to save frequently. And by the way, why are you playing an RPG and going 3 hours in between saves?
It was supposed to autosave.
Bad.
The days
Shame
of hitting the save block or Pokemon saving, we're past that now.
No, we're not.
I put too much faith in my system and it failed me.
No, you don't be playing an RPG and going 3 hours in between saves.
Yeah. You're right. All right. Let's get into the second one, which we've been teasing it for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
NFTs.
How do they work?
Yeah, what are they? From my understanding, basically there's this big hubbub going around where all of these people with way too much money are buying things that aren't real. You know, the most recent one was like somebody bought the rights to the Charlie Bit My Finger YouTube video, which is like, why?
Right. So let's back it up a little bit. NFT, non-fungible token.
Right.
What does that mean?
It means it is not replaceable. It is a single item that only you control.
So it's a token. So, for example, a dollar bill is fungible, right?
Right. You can print more of them.
I have a dollar bill.
Oh, you
and
mean
I can exchange it for like a Sacagawea coin. Yeah. And they have the same value.
Right.
So that's fungibility. It's not the exact same thing, but you can exchange it for something of the same value.
Right.
An NFT, non-fungible, which means if I have an NFT, like a digital painting, which is going to be like the most popular one, I can't exchange it for something that has the same value to it because it's unique.
Right.
So just to clarify that, that's what non-fungible token means.
And it all ties back into the blockchain, which we've mentioned on every episode so far.
Yeah. I mean, it's that new tech that I think the blockchain is the future.
So basically the way it works is because the blockchain has a public record, you're buying something, and because the blockchain says you own it, nobody else can claim it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the key. You have the coin.
Yeah.
Or token. Yeah. So basically people are just buying the rights to things. Are they going to be able to like mess with copyright law? Like if I own an NFT, do I then own the rights to this video bar none? Like nobody can use it because I have the NFT? I'm not sure how that works.
Right. So it's a way of establishing digital ownership of digital assets. So for example, if you were to purchase a digital painting as an NFT, non-fungible token, you have the right to that. So if you want to post it somewhere, you can post it. If you want to use it in a production of something, you can do that. If someone else, so if the artist sells it to you as an NFT, it's supposed to be one of a kind.
Right.
And if someone were to, I don't know, hack into your social media and copy it and distribute it, theoretically that's illegal.
Right.
But here's the thing.
There's no legal grounds for any of this, is there?
Well, it's ownership. It's ownership. It's yours. If somebody steals your things, that's stealing your things. So here's the thing, though. The crux of NFTs, especially when it comes to things like digital paintings, the whole purpose of paying exorbitant amount of money for unique things is that they're unique.
Right.
If I were to spend $100,000 on a painting that somebody painted with actual paint, that's the only one, unless the artist goes and makes another one.
And even then, yours is unique for each brush stroke, for each that you cannot actually replicate it perfectly.
But if I buy a digital painting as an NFT and it's displayed somewhere, nothing stops anybody from right-clicking, copying, and pasting that. And so, like,
export as
I don't
JPEG.
understand the point. Yeah, they can screen cap it and have the same painting that I have, but they didn't pay $100,000 for it. Yes, I get the bragging rights of saying I own this, but so unless you're just wanting to support the artist or just have those bragging rights when it comes to digital art or these things that are easily replicated, unless there is an enhanced version of what's called DCMA. I think it's DCMA or DRM, Digital Rights Management.
Yeah.
So a way of, like, okay, have you ever opened Netflix and attempted to use your screen recording software on your computer?
No.
So here's a good tip for you. If you ever try to use your screen recording software on your computer while Netflix is open, you will actually only record a black screen.
Oh, nice.
So it won't allow you to record the video, screen record the video. So unless they implement some sort of technology like that into NFTs, to where if you embed that into the image or the video, and if someone were to right click and copy, it would download only a blank image. I don't see the point of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these digital art because it's just not going to be unique. You can't, either you don't display it anywhere for anyone to see other than like on a digital
art
canvas, gallery. Like put it on a digital, photo frame in your house or something.
That'd be cool.
That would, sure. Other than that,
so the painting stuff I kind of get, but the thing that gets me is like people are buying like moments from things, like LeBron James' first basketball game, I think, was one, and like the most recent one was Charlie Bit My Finger. I think it sold for, how much was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
And the thing about it was, at first when I heard about these, I was like, oh, people are just wanting the bragging rights to own stuff, but the creator of that video is pulling it off of YouTube.
Yep. So
that makes me wonder, are we just getting to the point where people are going to monetize everything?
No, just the meme-worthy stuff. $760,000, by the way.
Wow. For
Charlie Bit My Finger. Which, I wonder how many people downloaded that video and have it on a hard drive.
It's not... Why? What are you going to use that for?
I don't know.
Is this
but
just like
here's
a
what I'm
rich
going to do.
thing?
I'm going to Google Charlie Bit My Finger.
And see if you get the video?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a little concerning because it feels like we're I loved the Wild West nature of the internet. Like, I love the idea that you can just kind of go in there and do pretty much whatever. And now people are like, nope, I own this, I own this, I own this. It's no longer the Wild West. We have state lines and we have structure and government. It's not fun anymore. You know what I mean?
That had to happen.
Yeah.
Things can't be the Wild West forever.
We need internet too.
And I'm not against NFTs.
Okay.
I'm not against having digital rights because as the future progresses and as we move more into the digital age, we're going to need a way to prove digital ownership.
Yeah.
Of goods that aren't tied to subscriptions. Like, here's the thing. The other model is Netflix, Amazon Prime, where you had to pay monthly and everything is controlled by a corporation.
Right.
And they determine who gets access to what. With NFTs, you can have content that you can purchase without a subscription because you have the token that says you own this.
Right.
Much like a DVD. Like, for example, if I buy a movie off of Amazon Video, I purchase it. And if Amazon closes their doors and shuts down their servers, I no longer get to watch that video.
I have a question. Okay, so is there an NFT of everything? Like this video, when we post it,
we would have to make it.
Oh, okay. But could somebody else just come in and...
No, because this is our content.
Well, yeah. I mean, on the moral ground, yeah, but...
No, this is ours. It's on our YouTube channel. Unless YouTube decided to violate its terms of service.
Okay.
Or Apple or somebody. No, they couldn't. You can't NFT other people's things.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. What about stuff that's in the public domain?
I don't think so because that's public domain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know
that's the thing.
if there's a lot of precedent.
I don't understand
I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of NFT lawsuits coming up. And it'll go to the Supreme Court a couple of times and we'll get some precedent.
Oh boy.
I mean, hey, when brand new things come out, it's going to go to the Supreme Court eventually when somebody starts suing over things. And then the local governments are going to be like, oh, I don't know, pass it on up. And they're going to be like, I don't know. And eventually the Supreme Court's going to be like, I don't know, but we're it. So we got to make a choice.
Yeah. That's one thing we probably should have done at the top of the show, but we did have one minor correction from this week, which is that last week we talked about Apple versus Epic Games, about the Fortnite mobile monopolization, yada, yada, yada court case that's been going on for the past 3 weeks. I had said that we should be getting a verdict at some point this week. Turns out, no.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute.
The judge has said it's going to be a few months before they issue a verdict, which is like, why though?
I don't know.
Why does that take so long?
I don't know. Probably because it's so new.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to really make sure they get it right because, like we said, it's going to change the landscape.
Right. And I guess it's not like a black or white ruling. It's not like you're right or you're right. They're trying to find some sort of compromise.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah. Which, if the fact that it's taking so long means something is changing for Apple. You know, they're not just going to be like, shut up, go away.
Yeah, no.
They're going to do something.
I still think Apple's going to come out overall the winner.
But if they give up anything, they're not winning anything.
No,
I mean,
they're not losing.
They're losing rights. Period.
Some. I don't think that they're going to get taken down.
No,
and Epic Games isn't going to get exactly what they want, or maybe not even close to what they want. That's what I mean. What I mean by Apple coming out overall the winner is that I don't think that Epic Games is going to get
as much as they want.
Not even half of what they want.
But for me, I see them winning is maintaining the status quo. Any adjustment to that, they're giving up something. So therefore, it's not a clear victory.
I mean, they got a whole bunch of press too. I mean, everybody.
But it's mostly negative.
There's no such thing as bad press.
I don't believe that at all.
No, look at it, man. Their name is in the news. They maintain their name in the news year round.
Yeah,
but from their releases to everything. I mean, it's hot stuff.
Yeah, but it's the media is like, does your kid love Fortnite? Don't buy Apple. Oh, okay.
No, I don't think that's going to be a thing because
I wonder if there's a market trend there.
If you're a parent and you have iPhones, like you and your wife have an iPhone, and you're going to get your kid a phone, you're going to give them an iPhone just because of iMessage and FaceTime. Yeah. And they're like, but Fortnite, and you have a PlayStation. Yeah. Play it on that.
That's true.
Because the walled garden is real.
Walled
garden? By the way, before we move on, dailymotion.com.
Are you showing your computer screen?
Charlie bit my finger.
Oh, you found it
right here.
Well, I think it's dated when they're going to be pulling. Oh, is it off of YouTube though?
I don't know, but I didn't pay $760 for this. That's all I'm saying.
Weird flex, bro, but okay.
Finna flex. But Charlie bit my finger.
Enjoy your pirated content.
Actually, I'm gonna bring the volume down just in case they try to strike us.
Oh no, that'd be bad.
The NFT
We're a brand new channel. Don't strike us.
I turned the volume down before they said the thing.
Oh,
so
maybe the actual tagline.
Maybe, guy, I'm sorry that you spent $760 on this 480p video.
Don't 10 years ago. Oh my god, that's so weird.
How much money? Okay, if you're the guy that bought this NFT and somehow you're watching this little podcast, I need to know why.
Yeah, please.
What? Why?
So the best way to reach us is either to email us at lifeandgamespodcast@gmail.com. Gotcha. Or you can just leave a comment below. We check those too. So if you have a question,
if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, we can get this video to the guy that bought this NFT.
Make it so.
Yeah,
we want to bring it directly to him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are going to take a deep dive into the deep dive double dip section of the show because, again, there's not really a whole lot of news.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing we're going to cover today is why Hollywood can't seem to make good video game movies.
Yeah.
And this is spawned off of the image that came out. It was this week, right?
Yeah.
Of the new Uncharted movie starring Mark Wahlberg and
Tom Holland.
Spider-Man. So I'd like to go first and say that this image upsets me.
Does it?
Yeah, for a few reasons. One, Mark Wahlberg's character is named Sully, and he has one distinct feature, which is a glorious mustache.
Okay, yeah.
And they did not put the mustache on Mark Wahlberg. Also, Tom Holland is supposed to be Nathan Drake. They're in an incredibly well-lit room, and he's using a flashlight.
I think you're seeing a different image.
Really?
So here's the image that I saw here. Let me open this in Safari.
Let me see real quick.
I think I saw that image, but...
I mean, people have been memeing on it all week because
I
want to
check
ridiculous.
Out this image.
It's just
here.
I'll
see if I can pop it on there, but you want to look at that.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. That one's a couple weeks old, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That looks fine. Yeah. He looks like a nice young Nathan Drake.
Mm-hmm. He's got the Henley.
Yeah, the one with him and Mark Wahlberg is the one I take issue with.
I see what you're saying. Where he's like shining the flashlight up like this. And they just look like Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg.
Straight up. They're just in like some Aztecian looking ruins.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are we even doing?
It's like...
They just keep trying to milk the cow of the video game franchises. And here's the thing about video game movies. Unless it's like inspired, like a video game adjacent movie, like just kind of has video gamey themes. Some of those movies are all right. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
And it does borrow a lot from like gaming
But that's
culture.
from a comic book or
book, yeah.
Graphic novel or whatever.
And they did make a game out of it, so technically kind of. But the thing about it is you are never going to take a video game and make it a good movie in the same way that it is a good game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the problem is that they try to make you feel like you're playing the game.
Makes you feel like Batman.
Yeah. Like, did you see the latest Mortal Kombat movie?
No, I've seen some of the fight scenes. They're quite goofy.
Spoilers, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Spoilers for Mortal Kombat 2021.
Yup.
There's a few times in the movie where they say the thing. They do the thing from the video game.
The fatalities?
Where they'll do the fatality, and then there will be an actual character that says fatality.
Really?
Yes.
Oh
like just shoehorned in there.
Is it as bad as the games?
It's
like over the top.
It's like it breaks the flow. They're like, I feel like a producer guy was just like, you gotta have it in there, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool.
It's kind of, but like they do it like 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
Like if they did it once, then you could be like, oh yeah. But they do it like 3 too many times.
I mean, is it actually? What's the movie rated? Is it rated R?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's rated R.
Oh, so they go there.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, hearts ripped out of face, out of chest.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, some ladies split from like the head. Like, yeah, they get gory. I mean, it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Why would it be rated anything else?
I mean,
no
money.
They need that R rating if it's gonna be a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so they try to make it feel like it's playing the game, or they deviate so far from the source material.
Yeah.
We don't even recognize what you're watching.
Like
Biggest
Rampage.
example, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
What was that? So they took a survival horror game.
Yeah.
and turned it into Mia Jovovich's Terminator, I guess, kind of, or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
When I watched that movie when I was younger, I didn't know what the heck I was watching.
The one that gets me now is Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Like,
speaking of Mia Jovovich.
Oh, is she in that one too?
I believe that's Mia Jovovich.
So Monster Hunter is a franchise where you're like, it's like a fantasy where you and your buddies go around and you hunt monsters, but it's like you kill the monster and you take all its parts and you build cool armor and weapons, and it's very high fantasy. This movie has everybody in like a little suburban and guns, like they're army dudes.
Yeah.
Why do they army dude everything?
Because it's cool.
They did that.
They try to generalize it, and they're deviating so far from the source material.
They did that with Rampage too, with The Rock. Like, it's nothing. Why? Maybe it's because like better movie directors and stuff have tried to make good video game movies and just never got there. Like, it just doesn't translate well. I mean, when we were growing up, we had the Tomb Raider movies, which I thought were okay, but they were cheeseball.
They were cheesy, but I mean, you know, Angelina Jolie looked like Lara Croft.
Yeah.
And I think the newer Tomb Raider movie, I haven't seen it, but she also looks like the rebooted Lara Croft, which is great.
I mean, they did Assassin's Creed with Michael Fassbender, and that movie was hot trash.
And
I mean,
Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That's awful.
God. I mean, so that's the thing. Like, either the games or either the movies are just trying too hard to make you feel like you're playing the game, which you're not. Or they're trying to turn like high fantasy into modern army dude thing.
Yeah.
Or what else? How else are they messing up? Ruining the character models?
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
So I'm a firm believer that if you're going to take something and put it into a new medium, you can definitely have some creative freedom, right? You don't necessarily have to stick to the source material, or else it's just selling somebody something they've already seen. Like they do it with the comic book movies. The MCU is known for just mixing it up. I mean, the Mandarin is like from Iron Man 3. From Iron Man 3?
Oh, no.
The bad guy?
Which one is that?
He was the terrorist dude.
Oh yeah, Whiplash, I think was his name.
No, that was from 2. In Iron Man 3, he was like the bald guy that would sit in front of the camera and be like, "We are coming for you," whatever.
I don't remember Iron Man 3 that much.
Fun fact, nobody does. I like that movie a lot though. But anyway, they changed him. They changed his entire character, and he was in the marketing material, so people had an expectation of what that character was going to be, and they do a bait and switch. That's fine. That's interesting. It's different. What they're trying to do with video game movies is just awful.
Yeah.
Like, just why do we have gun guys fighting monsters?
Yeah. So what can they do to fix it? What would you like to see? So let's say they're making a live action. Okay, let's say they want to go back. Oh, here's one.
Oh boy.
Let's say they want to go back and they want to do another Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
From 1993? Where the Goomba was where they were lizard men.
I love that movie.
That
it's
movie,
so bad.
Okay, it was trash. Like, it had nothing to do with Mario. Mario and Luigi weren't even brothers.
That's where we got their full names. Mario, and Luigi Mario. That's why they're the Mario Brothers. That's like the best fact ever.
Stupid. Yeah. Okay. What, Bowser is some CEO from Dino Hatton?
Oh yeah.
And
the Yoshis were so weird.
The Yoshis were weird. The Goomba wasn't even. They didn't even.
It was
look
a human.
Goombas.
It looked like a big goof.
Yeah. So it was so terrible. So let's say Nintendo wants to go back and make a new Super Mario Brothers movie. What would they do? What would you do? What would you like them to do?
Either make it animated or don't make it. Is where I would stand.
Animated. Okay.
I mean, just you have to respect the medium. Try to not necessarily. I don't think you're going to get a live action adaptation of the Super Mario Brothers that is any good, because then you're just going to have Mario and Luigi with guns in a Jeep just fighting a giant Bowser.
This time it's personal.
Yeah, and then Dwayne The Rock Johnson is Mario. And
No. Okay, so here's if they had to do a live action Mario, who would you cast as Mario?
It's a good one.
I know my answer, and it's stupid, but I know my answer.
Maybe like Oscar Isaac.
Oh, what is he? Who is he?
Poe from the new Star Wars movies.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's also in Dune. He looks good with a mustache.
Okay. All right.
Either that or do like Old Man Mario with Robert De Niro. Just like him after the Mushroom Wars had ended, to do like a John Wick style story where he has to come out of retirement. Who would you pick?
So the first thing that comes into mind is Danny DeVito.
As Mario?
But he's maybe too old.
Just make him the Goomba.
But wouldn't he be the perfect Mario? He's a short man. He could do the Italian accent.
Are we doing like a gritty reboot of Mario?
No.
He needs to be angry.
No,
he's best when he's angry.
No, it could be like kind of like a Phil from Hercules a little bit.
Philatidis. Yeah. Who would be his Luigi then?
Luigi? Oh, that's a good one. Who
would parallel Danny DeVito really well? If you have suggestions for who should play, I would love to hear your ideas.
Who's live action Mario and
live
Luigi?
Action Mario and Luigi?
Yeah. Who do you think, Luigi?
Maybe like, it's stupid, but like Michael Cera.
Michael Cera?
Just have Jonah Hill and Michael Cera be Mario and Luigi.
Oh my god. No, not Jonah Hill. I'm tired of Jonah Hill.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think. Can you imagine? Okay, so let's play off our suggestions.
Okay.
What would Danny DeVito, Michael Cera, Luigi look like?
A nightmare.
It would be so awful. Oh my god.
That sounds like a Funny or Die skit.
Yeah, it sounds like something, or like Saturday Night Live or something.
Oh yeah. Well, we've seen Elon as Wario. He did pretty good.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty good.
So we have Elon Musk as Wario, Danny DeVito as Mario, Michael Cera as Luigi. Okay,
we need Waluigi.
Oh my god, who's Waluigi?
Oh man.
Yeah, someone tall and skinny and Jim Carrey.
Drew Carey.
Jim Carrey. He can tap into his Eggman.
Oh yeah, he has the if they stuck the mustache. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Jim Carrey as Waluigi.
And then Bradley Cooper as Yoshi.
Bradley Cooper. No, man, you gotta get. So all Yoshi says is Yoshi, right?
Oh yeah, you gotta get the who does Groot?
Yes, exactly. You gotta get Vin Diesel to be Yoshi.
Vin Diesel is Yoshi.
Oh my god, I would love that so much. I would pay money to see this movie. Mm-hmm. Vin Diesel is Yoshi. Come on. Oh my god, I would pay money to support this just to be able to see the behind the scenes of him recording the Yoshi.
You know what?
Yahoo!
If you worked at a big Hollywood studio, we would love to produce your live action Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, I'll direct it. I'll write the script.
Yeah. Yes, please.
I'll do everything.
We will ruin it.
Quit my job and dedicate my life to this.
Absolutely.
Like no cap.
Yeah.
For sure. Let me make this happen. Okay.
So we did it. We fixed Hollywood movies.
We fixed it. We did it.
All right, let's go into our final deep dive of the day, which is kind of personal. Mm-hmm. Like I said, a coworker of mine asked me earlier in the week what my favorite video game of all time was, and I could not give him an answer. Mm. If I asked you that right now, what would you say?
It's a tough one.
Right.
And see, I want to go off of, maybe I'm just overanalyzing it, but if I go fondness of memory, or like that thing that pulls at my heart. Right. My first thing I want to say is Pokemon Yellow.
Okay.
Because that's the first, like, my game that I had. It wasn't like on because I got my Game Boy and I got the Pokemon Yellow cartridge, and that was mine. Everything else was console shared between my brothers and everything. Pokemon Yellow was mine. But
you hear that, Tyler? It was his.
Mine. But if I go through like playtime, I've played Skyrim.
It's so
way
hard.
More than I've played any other game. I've bought the game 4 separate times. Yeah.
And that's the thing that's so hard about this is like you try to quantify it as like, well, which game is the best game that I've played, but which one have I played the most and which one holds the most sentimental value? It's very, very difficult to pinpoint. Yeah. Like for me, I usually whenever I ask this question, I'll like jump to a top 3, being like Mario Galaxy 1, fantastic. Pokemon Black version. And then maybe, I mean, I really loved Kingdom Hearts 2.
That was going to be on my list.
Yeah. And a lot of these are, I put out a video on Saturday about how games associate with memories. And a lot of these, they have memories tied to them. So if I go back and play it, it reminds me of those memories, but it also is like, yo, this kind of sucks.
Yeah. So that's Pokemon Yellow for me. Like, I would never pick up and play Pokemon Yellow. Yeah. Like, I would probably go play Let's Go Pikachu.
Have you played Let's Go Pikachu?
Yeah. I love that game.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not like it at all.
I love it. Love it. Because it's Pokemon Yellow, but with a twist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so fun. It's a fun game to pick up and play. And it's not like, you know...
I'm too much like, Pokemon purist. They changed everything, no abilities.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, we talked about this a little bit before.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want so much from Pokemon, and I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but just change it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like they did
it's
with Sun and Moon.
We can do
Sun and Moon was cool because they got rid of 8 gym badges Elite Four.
Yeah.
And it was sweet. And I know it wasn't the perfect implementation, but they were trying something. And bless you, Nintendo, for trying to break out of that 25-year-old formula.
So the problem with Sun and Moon was not that portion. It was
too easy.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go play Pokemon.
Yeah.
And if they'd have fixed that, it probably would have been a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your other favorite games of all time?
So you mentioned Kingdom Hearts 2, Final Fantasy 7.
The original? Have you played Remake yet?
I haven't because it's an episodic thing, and I do not want to beat the first episode and just sit here like, okay.
Yeah, you will. It's very good.
I know I'm not going to.
As soon as you get that PS5, buddy, you got to play it.
No.
You will.
Nope.
I can't say anything because I know.
No, I won't do it. Final Fantasy 7, the original.
Mm-hmm.
Played that so much. Final Fantasy 3.
Really?
Very, because...
Like 6 here?
No, the DS version. It's not a very great game, but it was one of the first games I got when I got a DS,
mm-hmm.
and I played the crap out of that game. Loved it so much. It's a bad game. I mean, it's okay, I guess.
Some of those are the best.
Yeah, but I played it so much. You're going to notice a theme here. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Wow.
That was
Square
right
Enix
after.
sponsor.
Square Enix. I mean, I'm a bit of a Square simp.
Yeah.
I mean, strike that. You can't say that on Twitch anymore.
Oh, really?
In a derogatory way.
Oh, man, we should have used that as a topic.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. We made up a bad word, and it became so popular that they got rid of it.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. Back when I discovered emulation in high school, and I got my first laptop, first ever personal computer of my own, I got my GBA or GBA Boy, or whatever the GBA emulator was on Windows.
Was it My Boy?
It might have been My Boy.
My Boy's still the king.
Yeah. I downloaded Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and I stayed up all night playing that game, and like didn't sleep at all. Saved the game, paused it, went to school, went back to home, and played it again until I just passed out. I loved that game. So fun.
So you're a big RPG fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I love some Square RPGs. This is going to be kind of controversial, but I actually really liked Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, that's a good game.
I loved it.
Action game. I like how they broke out of the... Final Fantasy 13 was kind of a nightmare.
It was very pretty.
Yeah.
And the story was cool, but like the hallway of death didn't do it for me. Yeah.
It was an evolution. They kind of broke out of the turn-based thing a little bit with Final Fantasy 12. Still kind of turn-based, but they were throwing some more action. 13, there was like whatever. Like Final Fantasy 13 and Resident Evil 6 both just need to be like
scratch from history.
Redacted. They're like because that's when the games were just like both of those respective series. They were going so well, and then they just canked, and then they shot right back up with the next ones.
Yeah,
so it's kind of the same thing.
Gotcha. One other favorite game of mine is like totally not related to like Nintendo or anything like that. It's actually the first Portal.
Oh, really? You know, I never played Portal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I have beaten that game like 10 times.
Wow.
It is very good. It's like, it's short enough to where like you can beat it in a day. Easy.
Oh, cool.
Just sit there and, I mean, I've played it a few times. It's a puzzle game, so you speed through it once you kind of know the solutions, but just thematically, it feels so isolating. And just the mechanic itself is like the coolest thing I've seen in a video game in a while.
Now, that's the one where you start off on like this tram going through the factory or whatever?
You start off in a little cube. It's like basically you're a test subject and they're running you through tests.
Oh.
So it's kind of like they pull you out of cryo freeze and like just leave you in this little room and they're like, all right, do each level. And the main mechanic is the portal gun where you shoot one hole and shoot another hole and they are then connected. Whatever goes through one comes out of the other.
Yeah.
And they use it to great effect.
Okay. I might have
puzzles.
to pick it up because I've heard nothing but great things about it.
It's
and I know it's Valve and Steam and all that.
Yeah, back when Valve made games.
Yeah.
Not Artifact. Let's take a second here and talk to Lord Gaben. Nobody wanted Artifact.
Nobody. Maybe you are the only one that wanted
Left 4
Artifact.
Dead 3.
No.
Portal 3.
No.
And the big one, Half-Life 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which they did make Half-Life Alyx recently.
Yeah.
I didn't play it.
I guess that's kind of 3.
It's not, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean...
You have a Quest, don't you?
A Quest?
Oculus Quest?
I do.
And have you played Half-Life Alyx yet?
I haven't. I don't know if it's on there.
It is?
It?
Well, on the Quest.
So.
If you plug it into your PC, you should be able to play it.
I need to get those. Those cables are expensive, though.
Are they really?
Like $60, I think. Yeah. Oof. It's a lot.
Proprietary crap.
But yeah.
So, as you can see here, seeing as we spent probably like 20 minutes talking about what our favorite games are, you still don't have a number one, do you?
No, I mean, if I had to pick one game over everything, I would probably pick, honestly, right now, I'd pick Divinity 2.
Divinity Original Sin 2?
Yeah. It's just got so much.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the level building, the character design, the RPG elements, it's got a lot of replayability. Yeah. I'd probably pick that because I like a game that's pretty, has a lot of replayability, has a great story, and it's got everything. It's new. I wouldn't pick an older game. Yeah. Maybe Skyrim, but...
I feel like your number one will be Skyrim.
Probably.
I mean, you mentioned it the other day. You're like, once they announce it on PS5, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
You have it on Switch, don't you?
I have it on Switch, PC, PS3, and PS4.
Wow.
Yeah. Bought it 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have it on Steam, right?
Yeah.
So you can play it on like your Mac or... Is there a Steam Mac client?
There is. I don't think Skyrim can be played on Mac.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. There's a Steam client on Mac, but the games have to be developed to run on Mac OS.
Of course they do.
Yeah. I mean, it's different architecture.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's it. What about you? If you had to pick one?
Again, it's so hard, but I'd probably pick the first Mario Galaxy.
Like, yeah, that's a respectable choice.
It's just a masterclass. It is just so beautiful. It is so just fun to play. And I just have very, very fond memories playing that game. I've beaten it several times. I've bought it on 2 systems and emulated it on PC. It's very, very good. So if I had to pick one, but I will say one that I didn't mention that's on the list is Hollow Knight.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Hollow Knight is so good, dude. And there's a sequel coming out that they announced 2 years ago and have been pretty radio silent on it. So I'm hoping E3, Team Cherry, give me Hollow Knight Silksong because I need it in my soul.
Yeah.
That game is so good.
Well,
but I think with that, we're gonna
wrap it up.
Yeah. So real quick, we're gonna do some shout outs, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eak Da Freak and your Twisted Tea, for allowing us to use your music for our intros and outros. New song coming out very soon. You can get it on iTunes. I don't remember exactly. I think he said the 4th, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's actually doing a little campaign right now trying to get sponsored by Twisted Tea. So if you check out his social media, be sure to give him a like and help him because that would be really cool. And it's sort of a personal journey of his that we can help him achieve. I'd also like to thank some friend of ours, some collaborators per se. Yeah. Being Brian Garcia, Jordan Connor, and Mr. Timmy Smith, Little Timmy.
Little Timmy.
They help us out every week by helping us with the run of show and giving notes on each episode, and they're fantastic. So thank you guys. And of course, every week we want to thank you for watching. Again, none of this would be possible without you. I mean, if you watch every week and you enjoy the show, you make us want to do this. So I appreciate that. Now, if anybody has any questions, where should they go? Because I continuously mess this up.
lifeandgamespodcast@gmail.com. Send in your questions, your suggestions. Let us know if you know who bought that NFT of Charlie Bit My Finger.
Yeah. Or
drop them in there.
Any of them. I'd love to know just where these things are. And of course, if you would like Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. or you changed it up yet?
Switching it down to 8:30 p.m. to 10:30. Twitch.tv/sodapizzle. You can see me streaming Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, whatever might be new.
You ever going to touch Biomutant again?
No, I got a refund for it.
There you go.
Yeah. So until then, don't forget to like and subscribe, And we'll see you guys next time.
See you next week.
How long till I blow up and everybody show love? How long until I'm laughing at my critics like told ya? How long till I grow up? Stop drinking till I throw up? How long until the devil come to collect on what I sold him? What actually happens when you drown genius in acid? What would my baby mama say if I make $1 million off this rapping? What would the friends I made in the Navy say if they heard CS2 snapping? What would the man inside the mirror say if he ever caught me?
I do wonder how that works with like copyright law.
So that's the thing.
So